was a kid from around the town, kicks pumped up and head held down.
Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's coaching call on home advocacy, distressed properties. My name is Lee Honish. This week, I'm going to do the slide deck that I did in Las Vegas. I'm going to go through it really quickly, and hopefully this will take about 50 minutes plus or minus, and I'll leave time for questions and answers for those that are here live. But my goal here is to try to get through these slides to see if they can actually be done in a reasonable amount of time. So my goal here is to talk about the real estate market. I'm going to do the certification that I did at my last event. I'm going to do it here live on this webinar. So if you're rewatching it or watching it live, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to talk about marketing and then ultimately an offer to join Home Advocates. I would love for all of you to join. Some of you are actually existing students using the Monster or AMS programs. We'll talk about all that and what's involved in the newer system that we didn't have in previous systems. So for those of you who don't know, once again, my name is Lee Honish. I am the former head loss mitigator for IndyMac Bank's HELOC division, and I am simply not wired like the rest of you. I have been doing real estate and banking, REOs and foreclosures, distressed properties, default properties, whatever you want to call them, since 1988. By the age of 21, I had already evicted over 100 families from their home. It's not something I'm proud of. It's just sort of a fact. I did that for many years. I've worked for several banks. I've worked as a private developer. I've worked as a real estate agent. But I wound up at IndyMac Bank doing loss mitigation in the HELOC division right at the turn of the market, became a national speaker, did that for about 3 years. And then I focused on my own coaching group, working with distressed properties, and ultimately how to market and go after distressed properties for real estate agents. That was my niche. I've been doing it since 2010. I own 3 different companies. Lee Honish LLC, which was originally my education company. Perfect Blue Studio, which is a production facility that I have built from scratch over the last year to produce content and video for all different forms of marketing. And then by a chance, freak of nature, I met Jen Tassone, our CFO. It happened on February 14th. She was out with someone I knew. She was new to getting her real estate license. One conversation led to another. And with almost no knowledge of, in fact, no knowledge of me and the crazy plan that I had been working on, she said yes to starting this company called Home Advocates. So Home Advocates started approximately 2 years ago. It was my brainchild. After going through a substantial life change of July of 2019, moving back to the beach area to be closer with my daughter, I had this idea because a friend had talked me into going to an EXP thing, and they wanted marketing done through Perfect Blue Studio. And I came up with a couple of ideas, and ultimately I said, I don't know why you wouldn't make it about training for a system and use that as your recruiting tool for EXP. They went their own way. They had their own trainer, and I think they were determined to teach people how to go after FSBOs and how to break bow and arrows on their chest. And somehow that empowers agents to go out and get listings. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that's what I saw, and I didn't want to be associated with it. They felt that my tactics and my techniques were too aggressive. And to this day, I will say it, my tactics and my techniques and my marketing and my passion are very aggressive. I work with homeowners that are in a distressed situation. They are people that don't want to see you. They don't want your options. But the reality is that they wind up having to sell their houses. And I've worked in this field for over 14 years of doing marketing and coaching specifically for this product, and working in this field for well over 30 years. So it wasn't a right fit with that particular group. They went their direction with the coach that they were going to back as their recruiting tool. I then pitched it to the hierarchy of EXP around Christmas time, didn't really get a response. A bunch of people passed me around to big hierarchy people within EXP to set this up. But ultimately, it was my business partner, David Bartels, who turned over his short sale business and the advocate marketing system to me because he was going his own direction with his new company, Everhome. And I took it all over and I said yes. And that's how this was all formed. Literally a couple days after meeting Jen, I was handed all these short sale files and this marketing group and all of this stuff. And I decided, based on what the market was doing, that I would go this route. So Jen was sort of the first recruit. She is our CFO. She also handles the real estate agents themselves. She is possibly one of the kindest, caring people in the group when it comes to helping people. Next up was Derek Kelly. He's our VP of Sales and Coaching, and on this call, listening patiently. And I will say this about Derek. He's a natural closer. We'll talk about it a little bit later. There are 3 ways to close a file. There is by expertise, there is by likability, and then there is one by trust. Naturals close by trust. Like and trust are the 2 best methods for closing a transaction. I am fortunate enough to be friends with and work with a man who is a legitimate natural. He can close anything. In fact, those of you today should be expecting a call from him afterwards, knowing him. He follows up. He does all the little things. He is also in charge of our coaching and conversion. And the reason for that is really simple. Over the years, my coaching students will tell you that I might not have the greatest empathy for homeowners that are in distress because I am a banker and you can only be congruent to who you are. A man I'd like to call mentor and friend, Tony Robbins, has said to me to stay congruent to what you are. While I'm a completely changed and different person these days, I like to follow all these rules and do journaling and meditate, as well as my entire staff for some ridiculous reason. They collect crystals. I fundamentally believe in congruency and honesty. And because of that, it's hard for me to relate to the plight of homeowners. Derek doesn't have that issue. He teaches it exceptionally well. I am incredibly blessed, fortunate, and amazed to have him on the team and to be coaching all of you guys. In just a couple of weeks, we will start, I think it's the 2nd week of June, we start 3, for those that are already in the program, we start 3 coaching calls a day, right? Tuesday is marketing with me or Gina, who I'm going to talk about next. Second one is with this call right here, which is a general Q&A for everybody, including those that are in the other programs. And then Thursday, another private one just for home advocates people, and it's just with Derek doing conversion. So if you guys, we only have, about a dozen people right now that are part of the home advocates program. You will be able to do plenty of time working on your scripts and role playing and get everything up to speed. As I said before, Gina Pasquini does some of our marketing. She is our COO, Chief Operating Officer. She also handles our distressed properties. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But she handles everything in regards to distressed properties and our loans in general. And an amazing, brilliant mind. She's probably smarter than me. I said that tongue in cheek. I know she's smarter than me. Fritzy Ortiz out of Las Vegas is our title and escrow throughout the United States. Theoretically, we haven't really tested it yet, but so far it's working out. And our Express Buyer program. What is our Express Buyer program? We have our own eBuyer, iBuyer program. You don't have to list it on the market. You'll get a full commission. That is exclusive to our home advocate agents. So we are a part of the EXP family. We are signed up. We are in a funnel. We do sign up EXP agents. I will talk about that later. That is not the only way to be involved with us. But the reason I bring that up, if you sign up with EXP through us and you use our Express Buyer program, because we provide the leads, we provide the follow-up, you basically just put up the marketing, we will get you 3.5% as the listing agent in your market. That comes actually out of the home advocate side of the transaction, the company. and we're happy to provide that for our EXP agents. If you are just a home advocate with us, it is a standard 3%, unless you're Doug in Florida and you got a short sale, and then we get whatever we get. Short sales are unique. We process short sales, we process loan mods, we process forbearance agreements, and we'll talk about all of that momentarily. So here's my quick overview take on the market. First is the interest rate. I have gone through this. I have looked at it. I have flipped it over. I have reviewed video. This is a Bruder film to me, almost in some degree. The interest rate right now is too low. It will go up. It will freeze. It will slow down purchasing. It is the number one driver in every single market that is making people continue to be involved in this market. I don't even care about the next issue, which is the lack of inventory. The lack of inventory, and I've explained this at the Las Vegas event, and I'll do it here. This is my fundamental belief. It's not a crazy conspiracy. It is a fact. I had it backed up by a friend out of Realty Track when I brought it up, and he's like, that's exactly where it went. And he did the homework and found out. Here's what happened. In 2010, we were facing a complete crisis where mortgage prices were completely starting to rip to a bottom floor, right? Interest rates were certainly higher than what they were right now. Buying had ceased. The market had sort of collapsed. Those on Wall Street and those that needed to invest money started to create collateralized pools on Wall Street, and those pools started buying up real estate. What real estate did they buy up, you might ask? They started buying up REOs from banks. They started buying notes. They started buying packages. They bought everything that wasn't bolted down. And based on that current president's plan, which was Obama, it was supposed to be held in a trust and made available to renters for X amount of years before they could actually sell it. Well, what they discovered was that they just wanted to keep them and create bigger and bigger collateralized pools. And thus began the iBuyer, eBuyer, express buyer period of time in real estate. The reason I bring that all up to you, those of you that worked REOs before, there are no REOs. That's because banks sell them to investors at almost full fair market value. They don't have to lift a finger. They don't have to hire a real estate agent. They don't have to pay you 6%. If you're about to send me a text or a call or anything saying, but Lee, I get REOs, good for you. It's really not a thing. It's very rare when it does happen. They are usually done by servicers. They're not very good properties. The bulk of REO transaction, which is the number one reason you don't have inventory, is because they're all bought up and they're all turned into rentals. I'll say this, if you want to get into distressed properties for one and one reason only, to help the real estate market, forget helping homeowners. Let's talk about helping the real estate market. It's super straightforward. You're helping keep properties in inventory. I mean, that's really ultimately the bottom line by helping somebody sell their house before it goes to foreclosure. Because once it's foreclosed upon, it's never going to be seen again. It will be bought. It will be bought behind the scenes. It will probably become a rental of some kind. But it's kind of the truth of how this market works and how the REO market works. I've talked about this also at my last live event. I'll talk about it now. The president made a big point of making housing affordable and making it available for everybody as part of, quote unquote, the American dream to purchase. Well, there are only certain ways to slow down the current housing market that is now rapidly rising and growing out of control. And to do that, what you really need to do is raise the interest rates and create more inventory. And we'll talk about that in a minute. They're going to release the moratorium in certain states. And as many of you know, the COVID-19 restrictions are over. I've been to Vegas. I've been to a lot of places. COVID is over. COVID is over for everybody. The president has basically said COVID is over. I'm a boxing fan. Bob Arum went on a rant after a boxing event this weekend saying COVID was over. You don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. The reason I bring it up is strictly for the simple explanation of you guys have been dealing in a market over the last 18 months that didn't have all the real estate players in it. I'm going to say this as slowly as I can. And it's the reason I put this slide up for real estate agents and realtors and investors. You dealt with a market where a lot of people stayed home and didn't do anything. We are now rapidly approaching a period of time where that's over. So now you're going to have, which with real estate agents, average age is what, 55 or 65 of realtors? You're going to have a new workforce hit the market and want to do real estate again, not to mention a lot of people who are out of work going into real estate because the quote unquote real estate market is hot. So your competition level is going to be at an all-time high once these restrictions are really lifted June 1st throughout the United States and people can go back to some form of normalcy. So if you were having difficulty and struggling working expireds, canceled, probates, FISBOs, whatever it was, right, door-to-door, cold calling, whatever it was that you were doing, imagine double the workforce in the current market. That's the truth. The reason I push distressed is for a lot of reasons. One, it's a triggered data source, which is really important. But number two, and what I think is really important about working distressed properties, real estate agents still think, realtors really think that they're still short sales, or they're hard, or they take too long, or the people are too difficult to deal with. I get it. I've been working in this field since '88, and I would agree on some level that those things are somewhat true. Not every property in default is a short sale. Not every property in default is a loan mod. Not every property in default is a forbearance agreement. People are just sitting there and not paying, and they don't know the truth. So let's talk about what's happening. Is it's happening already in Texas, and they're trying to lift it in the rest of the country if you're not keeping track of the news. Federal judge actually issued a stay, but the red states were about to remove the eviction moratorium. What is the eviction moratorium? I can give you the 90 pages of gobbledygook that I was going to try to explain in at the last event, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it much simpler. For some magical reason, done by some magical power, probably and possibly by Wiccans in Congress and the White House, they managed to stop negative credit. They managed to give out forbearance agreements. They managed to just sort of basically forgive the last estimate I read, 11 to 14 million people who are behind on mortgage payments. And they're not putting it on credit. They're not putting it out there. That's what it is. Now, the mythical date is June 30th for the last day of the current eviction moratorium. When I asked people about this, and I interviewed people who do data sourcing for this, the other companies that are not mandated by the president or Congress or whatever mega power is stopping this don't want to be the first because the president, and this is a direct quote, warned any lending institution from starting foreclosures before he says it's okay to start foreclosures, which I found just mind-boggling because now there are investors and property owners and portfolios that can't get people out, that are going to owe a lot of people money that haven't been monetized in the last 18 months. I mean, there's just so much going on and so much money being lost that I don't know how this can continue much longer. Texas, it's already lifted. So over the next 30 to 45 days, they'll start to see it. Florida is where I said you will see the first real movement once they lift it there. And that will, my telltale sign will be watching Florida, which is why I'm waiting to go there. I'm going to go through Texas in a couple of weeks to go see what's going on there with distressed property. So I'm really looking forward to it. So it comes down to a forbearance and a loan mod, right? That was theoretically what homeowners should have been doing during that period of time. They were handing out 6-month forbearance agreements to people who couldn't make payments pretty much blindly. And that's basically taking what you owe and putting it on the end of the loan and apparently not making any negative comments to credit or having any basic repercussions for doing it. So for those of you who actually made your payments during the pandemic, I was just talking to CFO Jen about this yesterday. You should be pissed, right? You get a free ride for 6 months and not make payments, right? Why do they get to do it and you don't, right? You should get a negative mark on your credit, which they didn't, and they're not. Same with a loan mod. These people haven't paid for generally 6 months. Go in, ask for a loan mod, get it, because the banks don't want to deal with 11 to 14 million, depending on the number you want to believe in. And that's the truth of this market. There is a very quiet storm behind the scenes. It's not fun. It's not classy. No one wants to talk about it. And nobody can really find a solution to it. So what will happen when homeowners who still cannot make a payment or never made a payment, what will happen to those homeowners? My answer is very simple. They will, on July 1st, depending on what day it is in your state, nationally it's supposed to be July 1st, there will be a lot of people who wake up one morning and are automatically 6-month delinquent. They're not going to start at the 30-day. You don't automatically start at 30-day. They're going to report people who are 6 months delinquent right out of the gate. The people that I've talked to have said it's going to be that way. They're going to move them immediately to NOD or list pendants, depending on where they are nationally. And that's going to happen July 1st. Or if you're in Texas, it's happening now, or at least in the next 30 days. Or if you're in Florida, it will be Armageddon, possibly. It's my theory about Florida. I think it's going to be crazy when they start to evict people there. But we'll see. And when will the COVID eviction moratorium end? That's a very good question. I would prefer that it ends in December with a graceful exit and people getting paid more cash. That way, people who are actually paying, as well as those that own the mortgages themselves, aren't too pissed off for basically carrying people for 2 years, because they really are taking it in the pants. I mean, small business, big business, private individuals, from investors to large banks, to those who are actually making their payments. It's not a fair deal. And you're the bulk. You're 85% of the mortgages that are out there, and you guys are doing your best. And those are the people holding the paper, and you show up, suit up, and make your payments no matter what. It's the 15% that aren't, and they seem to be getting a free ride. And if you're completely okay with that, and if you're okay with your tax dollars going to that, cool. You should be frustrated. I don't think it's fair. I don't think there's any way out. I think the only thing you can do is raise the interest rates, rip the Band-Aid off the moratorium, and hand people out money and hope for the best. That's it. That is the most logical outcome for all of this. With that said, I never expected banks to start selling their REOs in bulk out the back door to stabilize the market. So this is a true story, and I'll end on this before I make the turn and get some other things done. I was talking to a person who provides short sale software, also does loan mods and forbearance agreements. That is their business model. They had already rebuilt their model into doing loans themselves. And as I was doing the preview of their software for our company, he said to me, "Oh, I'm sure the government will come up with something to fix it." I'm like, you mentally aren't like you don't see this as somebody who works in a distressed field and this guy was a former banker like myself, former asset manager with Countrywide. He's like, I don't really look at it that much. I don't really care. The market is so hot. They'll never let it stop being hot. By the way, that's what everybody said to me in 2006 before the crash. I talked to one other person out of Arizona who provides short sale forbearance and loan modification software, which is the one that we ultimately purchased for our company. And the first words when he said to me, he goes, "Forbearance and loan mods are the money." And he goes, "It's already happening on the East Coast. They're already making thousands of dollars with this software. You guys are getting in at the right time." So I'm sharing this message for you, the realtors. Do a little bit of homework. Look at what's happening in the news with the federal stays. I'm telling you, over the next 6 months, depending on what state you're in, people are going to start waking up one day with NODs, and they're going to think that everything is fine. And that's not the truth. That is what our focus is. Our focus is to help those people. We are here to provide a solution. So the first thing we want you to do is be an advocate. The second thing is we would like you to use permission-based marketing. We want you to attract and not to interrupt people. We'd also like you to educate the homeowner on your first visit. This goes back to monster marketing and AMS marketing and everything that we're really about. We are about education for the homeowner. That is why Derek is specifically in the place that he is. We want to turn every single one of you into a natural closer so that you can create trust and like within that homeowner so that you can ultimately become their agent. And we've figured out ways for you to get paid in various ways. And then ultimately give a dignified solution. We'll talk about that in greater detail, but honestly, there are 3 dignified solutions. Number 1 is a forbearance agreement. Number 2 is a loan modification. And number 3 is doing the sale of their house. All 3 of those will make you money. And I will talk about that a little bit more. But home advocates, the people, our agents, our advocates, get paid on all three of those funnels. So when they meet with a homeowner and they want to do a loan mod, they get paid. We have a system in place. We're working out the escrow process right now. We do not take money up front, goes into an escrow on loan mods and forbearances. It's processed, shipped out, and they get assistance. It's all held in escrow till after it's done. If it's not approved, we give them their money back. And the reason I point that out is because ultimately they're going to become a sale for you. We do all of that for you. And if we make any money here at Home Advocates, we split it with you, the agent. We give back. We help you provide for your family as well. It's a tough job that you do. So the first thing you need to be is an advocate. This really comes from a year's worth of work for me working on the 4 agreements. Another man I'd like to call mentor and friend, Don Miguel Ruiz, wrote an amazing book. If you work every day to be impeccable with your word, not take anything personally, not make any assumptions, and to always do your best, you're going to be on the right foot when you meet with homeowners. But let's take this on a real estate level. When you go to the front door, and we're going to talk about it in a minute, what to say. Don't take what they say to you personally. They're scared and they're frightened. They're abused. They really are. They're scared. So don't take it personally. Don't make assumptions. When you go to the door saying they're not going to be a sale, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that, let me confirm it for you. They're not. You're making an assumption and writing a script. And what we ask of all of our real estate agents, I'm thinking of, maybe I should get this as an ebook and give it out to all our agents when they sign up. You guys should read it, or maybe get the audio so you can listen to it. I know what to do. I'll make a 4 agreement training module that you guys can watch the videos on. Always do your best, which is really what we want of our real estate agents. See, I keep expanding our project even while I'm watching. That'll be added within the week. I like this already. So being an advocate, I'm going to certify all of you on this call. Please raise your right hand, press it against the screen. I have to line it up. Press your hand against the screen just like this. And all you have to do is say that you agree to the following terms. Number 1, thou shalt be honest and truthful. Hypothetically, I don't know how I frame this in Vegas. So let's just say hypothetically that we may or may not know real estate agents that might not be all that honest and truthful when working with homeowners. We expect more out of real estate agents and investors who work with us in Home Advocates. Got to add the S, or it doesn't sound right. We believe that our advocates should always be honest and truthful. Thou shalt not deliberately mislead the owner. Hypothetically, we may or may not know real estate agents around us that when they work with distressed property people, they may or may not tell them the complete truth of their current situation, with the only regard being how to get a listing. So I would like you to tell them the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Again, as my mentor and man I'd like to call mentor and friend Tony Robbins would say, stay congruent. Tell them everything. Disclose everything. Next, the obligation of thou is to preserve confidential information. Okay, hypothetically, once again, none of you guys on this call, but let's just say that there are real estate agents out there who work in the distressed field who, once they find out it's distressed or they're in the market to sell or they're behind on payments, may or may not use that information to, say, turn an investor onto it, or use that information to ultimately get themselves a listing or a pocket listing or lower the values for a quicker sale. I don't think it's that far out of the realm of possibilities what I am posing to every single one of you, but the reality of all of that is it is extremely possible. You are getting very personal, confidential information for people. Please do not use it against them when you are working with them. Thou shalt avoid exaggeration, misrepresentation, or concealment of facts, right? Again, see the previous slides, but once again, hypothetically, I'm sure we're aware of real estate agents, realtors, and investors who may exaggerate or misrepresent or conceal facts with distressed homeowners for the betterment of their purchase or sale or whatever. Again, I'll say it, congruency and honesty. Thou shalt not deny equal professional service to any person. All right, this one's really simple. I don't care what race, creed, color, sex, or whatever that person is. That's number 1. If that's your game, please do not sign up with me. Bigotry and racism is disgusting on any level and simply not tolerated within my group. Secondly, I think it should be included in this. You can't discriminate just because they're a short sale. Hypothetically, again, tell me that there aren't realtors who cherry pick the people they work with based on race, creed, color, religion, whatever. And then worse, on what type of property it is. All of these things are equally vulgar to me. These are real people with real families who are really in distress. I don't care if they want to marry their mailbox or they've never left their desk. The reality is, as an advocate, your job is to go in and do the very best. I've watched Hoarders. I know CFO Jen watches Hoarders. If there weren't great people to go in there and dig those people out, those people would still be suffering. I see doing distress work the same way. Somebody's got to go in there and do it. Okay? I will make sure you get paid for your work, but the reality is no matter what the situation, no matter who they are, no matter what they believe, no matter what their situation, you have to do your best and give them the best service possible. Thou shalt not provide specialized service outside the field of competence. Well, hypothetically, I'm sure we're aware of real estate agents, realtors, etc., that may or may not talk about topics, say probate or distressed, without having any idea of what they're talking about. One of the biggest things we do is educate our agents. It's why we do 3 coaching calls a week. It's why we do this call. It's why we put out so much content. When Derek gets back from Boston, we're going to start cranking out probably 3 to 5 videos per week on conversion for distressed properties in the studio for you guys. I will be shooting individual marketing videos along with Gina, and the more we give you, the better it is. This is a very big world that's about to start. When thou shalt provide consultative services to clients which involve advice or counsel for a fee, such advice shall be rendered in an objective manner, and the fee shall not be contingent on the substance of the advice or counsel given. True. Number one reason why people don't want to work with distressed property people is you're afraid you're not going to get paid. You're afraid you're not going to get the listing. You're afraid, therefore, that's crazy to me. It's literally the most crazy thing to me, right? And again, it's almost on some level discrimination in my opinion, but it is a real thing. And 85% of what you do is going to be for free. 80 to 85%. 20% is what's going to get you paid. That's the way we operate here. We take free calls all the time. Derek takes free calls all the time. We try to help everybody we can with every single budget that we have, because we know the numbers are very real. We know that there are a lot of people that are going to go into foreclosure. We also know that a lot of real estate agents don't want to, because they remember 2007 to 2010. These are the things we ask of our agents to be an advocate. For all of you holding your hand against the screen and pressing it up, say, I will abide by these. And I will certify all of you right now on this broadcast, webinar, video, whatever it is. Ready? You're all certified. And if you're all realtors, you should be aware that that was the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics. You are already supposed to be doing those things. The reality is most people don't do those things. Hope you enjoyed that slide deck. All right, let's talk about attraction over interruption. A man I'd like to call mentor and friend. So many mentors and friends. Seth Godin wrote Permission-Based Marketing, which helped me create Monster Marketing, which ultimately became AMS Marketing, which ultimately became Home Advocates Marketing, which is the backbone of what I call sort of my 6.0 system, which is a combination of everything that I've worked on over the last decade in regard to marketing. It is attraction, not interruption. Our goal here, and I just say these things in regards to marketing, is work smarter, not harder. I got into a fight with my staff, 2 of them, Gina and Jen, because they had spent a lot of time on a particular project just a couple of days ago. And I walked in and they told me how long they had been doing it. I was meditating. Yes, I was meditating. I came out and they go, well, we've been working on this for the last hour and a half. And I looked at it and I said, well, it's wrong, and here's what the real situation is, and I'll go fix it. And it took me 10 minutes. And here's why I was upset. It wasn't that they did the work or that they tried to do it themselves while I was not available. I appreciate that. I would rather they go for a walk down to SeaWorld, go down, watch a baseball game, go watch an inning of baseball. Okay? They did a lot of work. instead of working smarter, they worked harder. And a lot of people work harder. And I don't fault them for working hard. Gina and Jen are probably the two hardest working people on the, I take that back, Fritzy's in there. Okay, all three of the women are way harder working than me and Derek, by far, in this company. And the reality is, that's great, but it's about working smarter. I would rather people have more time off than more time, just staring at a screen and clicking buttons and, getting frustrated, ultimately. I want all that for you, especially when it comes to marketing. That's why I don't door knock, cold call, or do mailers. Secondly, you want to look for trigger events. When you do any kind of marketing, especially attraction over interruption, what you're looking for is a trigger event, right? So in real estate, we're very fortunate that there are public trigger events. Some of you have gone after expireds and canceleds. That's a trigger event for a lead. Probate, trigger event for a lead. FSBO, trigger event for a lead. Our particular field, we have access to 30, 60, 90-day lates. That's a trigger event for leads. 6 months approximately is a notice of default or a list pendants, depending on where you are in the country. Trigger event. Then there's a notice of sale or a notice of auction, depending on what terminology you want to use. Trigger event for leads. So those are really it in real estate. Anything beyond that is just guesswork. I go back to 1988. It was really a thing to pick up a phone book and just do what they called dialing for dollars and just call homeowners blindly on, I think it was push button by then. And we had call waiting. But auto dialers weren't really a thing. Certainly none of the slick things were that way. And I think contracts were still one page. Next, permission-based marketing. When we talk about marketing in general, Monster Marketing, AMS Marketing, Advocate Marketing System, AMS, which is David's product, and then what we have now, which is the Home Advocate System, are all permission-based marketing systems. We deliver information to a homeowner. So for those of you watching this looking to glean information and build your own permission marketing piece because you want to know how to do real permission-based marketing, that's cool. You've got to create attraction. You've got to create content. It's much easier to do that online, but most agents don't do that. We are currently working and testing right now on some online aspects for a few of our real estate agents that recently invested into the program. So we will know about that funnel and how long it takes for it to turn over, and then we will be able to offer that as part of the overall package. The other way to do it is with direct marketing that is permission-based. Outside of my product, I honestly don't know of too many permission-based marketing pieces. The one I invented in 2010, it is my brainchild. Everything about it is mine. The current version is 100% mine. It's a hybrid of David's and mine with a few new twists on it. And it's based on the current market. It's 100% mine. I took out everything from the last 5 years from people who have put their sort of 2 cents into it and took it back to me, what I believe in, which is math and marketing, because that's the most effective way to do it. And then ultimately, it's about educating the homeowner when you do get in front of them. And that really comes down to doing a very solid introduction and disclosure of who you are and why you're there. And you're not there as a realtor, you're there as an advocate. Secondly, you're there to take them a copy of their NOD, their NOS, or their less pendants, depending on where you are. One of the most shocking things I still can't believe that agents don't do when they go meet somebody live is to take them the actual document for the reason for them to meet. And for those of you who've worked in this field, you know that they don't actually keep track of this kind of stuff. And then you read them the alternatives to foreclosure. That's it, 9 alternatives. Everybody here should have it on the call. If not, I'll probably send it out with the follow-up on the video. And then ultimately, it's about the follow-up. So one of the things that we added into Home Advocate's new marketing system that I've created, this version, we do the follow-up for you. We provide the leads for you. You just go put up the marketing. And then you let us know at the end of the month, these people need to be followed up with and put into a drip funnel. So I knew that it wasn't happening. I knew that's why people didn't have drip lines. So I'm going to create the drip line for you and remove that element so that it works more effectively for you. We help real estate agents give homeowners a dignified solution. And ultimately, these are the 3 things that get you paid. Number 1 is a loan modification. Number 2 is a forbearance agreement. And number 3 is to sell their house. In the case of a loan mod and a forbearance agreement, those cost the homeowner thousands of dollars for assistance in preparing those and submitting those. Once we work out the escrow process or whether or not they're doing it themselves, whatever set fee we put on those products, and that should happen in the next 2 weeks. I have to make a landing page. I have a lot of work to do for that project. You, the real estate agent who are a part of Home Advocates, will be able to offer those options, and you will get 50% of that money. We will put our loan mod forbearance package out on the open market for everybody to use. You will not get 50% of what you talk a real estate agent, what you talk the homeowner into for doing either the loan mod or the forbearance program. You have to be a home advocate to make that money, to get paid weekly. Whatever we make, we're turning it right around, right out, and sending it right back out through PayPal. Back to the real estate agent. We want you to get paid weekly. I know it's stressful to go and meet with them. So when you're doing loan mods and forbearance agreements, which is going to be the number one thing that 14 million people are going to want to do, you should get paid. Attorneys are getting paid. People on the East Coast are getting paid for doing this. I know what they're getting paid. It's not out here on the West Coast. It's certainly not in real estate circles yet. We're going to have all those funnels in place, and we're going to be able to provide you with that information as a home advocate to provide it. And we're really happy because ultimately, here's what I've learned since 1988. People who don't pay, don't pay. It's what I learned in 88 from my father. It's what I teach people constantly to this day. They will have to sell their house. And if you are the person that has provided all the solutions, you have followed up correctly because I've done it for you, using the leads and using permission-based, you will be top of mind. Derek will have trained you to create trust and to be a natural yourself. They will want you to sell their house. You will give them that dignified solution. You do not have to put it on the open market. You do not have to march people through that house because it is a part of our program. We will get you a buyer. We have a portfolio. We have an e-buyer, iBuyer program. You will be the listing agent. You will get a full commission. Simple as that. As long as it's not a short sale, and that's a whole other discussion. Our first one is a short sale, so it's got its own set of rules at the current moment. If you are a home advocate through the Home Advocate program with us, you get a full commission pay. I know most of you right now in this market are willing to take listings for 1% or $50 or whatever the latest gimmick is. What is it, 1%? Or you split 5% between both sides or whatever wackiness it is. I just know it's out there and how desperate people are to take these deals or to try to keep them as pocket listings or anything else. Truth be told, I'm not too concerned about that. We're here to get you full commission. Pedro, in California, how does it work? They go into escrow. I got a question blinking right at that moment. We're going to escrow the money, Pedro. That's how we're going to do it. I'm working on the legality of it right now, but it's going to go into a third-party escrow. And if it doesn't close, if they don't get a loan mod or a forbearance agreement, we're giving them the money back because ultimately, you know this, you're going to get the listing. So what's the point? There's 3 ways. There are 9 alternatives to foreclosure, and 33% of them get you paid. The other 6 have no bearing on what they can do. And the truth of those 6 alternatives to foreclosure, 4 of them are all about bringing more money to the bank, which they're not going to do. The other 2 are based on bankruptcy, right? And that leaves you ultimately selling it, forbearance, or loan modification. There you go. Those are your alternatives to foreclosure. Glad we could have this talk. So, let's see if I can make this thing. Why aren't you clicking? Oh, no, it's gonna crash. I hope you don't crash. I really don't want you to crash. All right. So I'm going to quickly go through our product and our stuff as quick as I can. It should just take like 5 or 10 minutes. For those of you that are interested, I'm going to show you exactly how our program works, and I'm going to show you exactly what our marketing pieces look like. And hopefully it's beneficial to you. For those of you that are existing coaching students who are thinking of upgrading, this is what the Home Advocates backside panel looks like. It has its own page, homeadvocates.academy. It is a Kajabi page. And by the end of this week, it will have a 4 agreements training course. I'm very excited about that. We have 3 training modules, 3 modules right now for those that sign up. The first one is Home Advocates Marketing. All right, that's the main training funnel. The second is our community page, and the third is our archive page. So I'll go through these really quickly. When you log in and you start your training, it's super straightforward. They are step by step. They tell you who everybody is. You have access to all of us constantly throughout your journey. You get a 1 hour one-on-one, and I tend to jump on at the beginning to make sure that everybody is going through each of the training modules quickly. We have a quick start 10-step for those that have already done our program or seen the AMS program. I just changed it a little bit to work, which takes you right into the meat of the matter, how to set up your spreadsheets. I provide your leads at the beginning of each month, or when you sign up right now, at least till the market turns. I'm going to provide you with about 18 months worth of NODs and NOSs right now for your market, for your entire county, actually. And they're exclusive. Our agents work exclusively within their area unless I think the area is too big. And then I'll get additional agents and then put them in cities around you, in which case the first one who signed up can dictate what cities they want. If you're an EXP agent, I'm actually recruiting agents to sign up underneath you, as well as making you the person in charge of the leads for that area. There's a lot of bonuses for being EXP with us. But I made a complete spreadsheet on how to work with your data that I send you at the beginning of the month. Next is how to set up your call center. We no longer use a call center for those of you who used to use a call center. We now use Google Voice. I made a video, simple, with downloads and everything. Keep it simple. Trust me when I say this, it works really well this way. Our marketing piece, for those of you who've never seen the Monster Marketing piece, the AMS marketing piece, you're kind of looking at it on the screen right now. It is a delivery label. We deliver real estate agents to the homeowners. And once again, I have made a brand new video on how to set those up so that you can take them out. And then ultimately how to map them. I want you to go out to 25 properties a week, meet with approximately 4 homeowners per week. And those 4 people are going to be in loan mods, forbearances, or sales for you, right? There's a conversion for you for every person you meet. So it's about starting your funnel as quick as possible. So go out and meet them. Our marketing piece, our permission-based marketing piece, has a unbelievable success ratio of 20%. So if you're putting up 25 pieces per week, 2 groups of 12 is how I like them done, 4 sheets of marketing pieces mapped out, 12 and 12. They should take about an hour each day, and the rest of your time is meeting with homeowners. Those 4 homeowners will decide between a forbearance, a loan mod, or selling their house. Those are the viable options. We will teach you how to do that. This is the mapping program of how to go and meet them and set up your spreadsheet to make it accordingly. And then ultimately, how to set it up for a driving course, the most simplified ways of lining them up and writing out your sheets. I really did break it down to really finite things throughout the years. Then that takes us into what you're going to say at the door. Again, you get a one-on-one for everybody involved. You're going to get your own exclusive conversion class every Thursday as well, where you can talk about conversions and calls and the 9 alternatives to foreclosure. I may have Derek spend the first couple of months just doing one alternative to foreclosure and converting and scripting off of each one for the first, 1 a week until I go through all 9, because I think they're going to be great videos. That's the truth. And I'll spend some time with you talking about marketing as well. That is a part of our program, private one-on-ones with both of us. We are not a giant corporation. It is kind of a mom and pop, even though there's only 5 of us. We have 3 coaching calls, one on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. I actually just set up everything. Wednesday, you're on this call right now, 9 a.m. This is the sort of open to the public one. And then Thursday at 9 a.m. And Tuesday and Thursday are exclusive to home advocates, period. All of our videos, over 1,000 hours, are all library and cataloged for all of you. Your delivery packages are a hybrid of advocate marketing system, home advocate system, and the monster marketing packages. We have created literally a plethora of trainings and videos between the stuff I've created, between the stuff David has created, so that you have everything you need, even if you're an investor, of how to work with homeowners and what you can take to the door. It's over 1,400 documents. It's over 1,000 hours of video. It's just a staggering amount of distressed property information on forbearance, loan mods, alternatives to foreclosures that you can take and use. We use it in our own marketing to help with people as well. The next thing we have is our community page. Within that community page, you can ask a question. So if you got a question 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, put it on the community page. It will alert me. I will answer it. Generally speaking, I'm awake 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless I am doing a Zoom with my daughter, which now has moved to Thursday nights for whatever reason, or I'm at Disneyland with my daughter, for those of you who know my history. That's the truth. The rest of the time I'm asleep. I don't really sleep. I meditate. When I'm meditating, I won't answer questions. So this isn't the next business day. This is when I check my messages. The next time I check my messages, I'll answer your question. And you'll be notified as well. And it's on public forum so that we have a great FAQ page. I'm really excited about that particular product. The last is the Zagorski Archives. For those of you that watch The Blacklist, enjoy that joke. This is my little Zagorski archive. This is over, 14 to 20 years of marketing that I've compiled, and I'm super proud of it. And I put it all in one place. It literally took me 24 hours of research through all of my hard drives to put together everything I've ever worked on since 2010. So if you can find anything in here, and this is another 3,000 documents plus or minus of marketing pieces and content that I have created for distressed properties over the last 14 years. Use it. They're available to you. Anything David's ever created, anything I've ever created is in there. You can change them. You can customize them. Different states, you name it. It's just so endless. It's almost ridiculous how many documents and pieces are in these files. I thought about shooting it by video, to be honest, just to give it, this doesn't do it credit. Trust me when I say it, it's 14 years of tangible, physical print out, change the logo, make it your own, right down to certificates. And of course, all of our videos that we have done since 2010 are archived. We have them for our coaching students, going back to when with David, and then solo. I'm very sad to have David go and not be on these 9 o'clock calls with me anymore. But I've got everything cataloged. David is always with me and will always be a part of this program, and he is certainly the heart and soul of AMS for all of you who are a part of that program. That's also included in here, but every single thing. And then as a very wonderful little addition, some people do know this about me that date back to 2010. I had business partners at the time who did an event and then tried to sell a $5,000 book, which kind of teed me off that they would sell a short sale book for $5,000. So I went out and I compiled books on short sales and loan mods and real estate that you can white label and make your own. You go on Fiverr and you buy a book cover, and there are actually sources where you can print them out. And here's some more advice. When you're in Southern California, go to Vroman's bookstore in Pasadena and let them know you want to do a book signing. I actually know someone who I consider a friend who actually bought a paid book and actually went and did a book signing. She really released the book. Sorry, it amused me to actually do that out loud and record it. So here's the offer from the Home Advocates way, and the way we do things. I'm going to make it as simple as possible. Number one, set up your data source. I'm going to send you your leads. Just put them in order. Order your Avery labels. It's easy. 6464 repealables. Everybody knows how to do this, right? Set up your Google Voice number the way I've told you to do it based on the videos. Customize your labels exactly the way I showed you on the video. Set up your call center. We don't use a call center anymore, but you'll see. And there's a call center script for you to return your calls from your Google Voice message. Prepare your package. Handwrite the APN numbers and homeowner's last name. I even give you a video on how to sort them and make it easier on your day when you go to meet them. Then go out and put up the labels. Nobody seems to be afraid of cold calling or door knocking. I don't know why people have an issue going out and putting up labels. Put them on the garage door, the front door, or the mailbox, as long as it's in a place where they can see them. Then call back your leads as the call center, and then go meet the homeowners. That's how our system works. It's how it's worked for the last 14 years, and I'm really happy about it. Then update your spreadsheet and send it to me for the people you didn't get to meet with or that are still on the fence about any one of those 3 actions, and I will follow up with them, and I will tell them about forbearance agreements and loan mods and how you are the best home advocate agent ever. This time around, I'm going to add for home advocates, they're going to be on our main page, and I'm going to actually create a directory and I need to get on that. It's another project. Then ultimately sell their home, right? No matter what, I just know this reality. 8 out of 10 people you meet with are going to have to sell their home. Even if they do a loan mod and a forbearance agreement, they're going to have to sell their home. If you're an investor, you're going to buy it. If you're a real estate agent, you're going to sell it. So can I even make it even more simple to explain to you? And I am, real quickly, because we're wrapping up our time. Number one, we provide you with the leads. We give you a marketing approach and system that has been tested and perfected well over a decade to a 20% result, the highest in its business. And it is permission-based. Automated follow-up. Yeah, send it to me. I'm going to put it into a follow-up CRM and do all the voice and email you will ever need in a lifetime on that topic. Weekly pay for meeting homeowners. That's right. When they do a forbearance or a loan mod, we're splitting that with you, our home advocates. Real simple. Full commissions for listings. Yep. Once again, for home advocates, you get full listing side of the commission, 3% for those. If you're an EXP agent with us, you get 3.5%. Congratulations. We want you to get paid. This program that I've created is about you getting paid more money. 3 weeks, 3 weekly coaching calls, all recorded and cataloged for you, as well as 2,000 documents. A private one-on-one coaching session. It's actually part me, part Derek right now. Access to our exclusive Express Buyer program you can use for your own deals as well. We're really happy to share that information. Access to our exclusive home advocacy Q&A community that I showed you, where you can ask questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I will answer them. Access to the most extensive distressed property library of marketing materials. Yeah, it's 2,000 documents at last count, I think. And that's just because I have 1 terabyte drive missing. Based on my life change, I don't think I'll ever get that particular terabyte of information back. But on that one, I probably could have gone back another decade. I don't know if we needed that much information. Use of logos for your website marketing. Yep, and I'm working on t-shirts that you can purchase at cost that you can wear at the front door. And it's a one-time fee for enrollment, and you are grandfathered into any and all of our program. Exclusive yearly events. Yep, it's back in March. I figured it out. It's going to be the Sunday before the 31st, wherever it's going to be. As you guys know who are regular agents with me, we'll break it down based on cost per seat and for getting the room. And we'll do a full day event, and I'll get you a whole bunch of speakers, and we'll have a great time. Additional private one-on-ones are available if you want those. I haven't set those up yet, but we're going to make additional private one-on-ones with Derek available. But since you get them right now with so few people in the system, you get Derek basically to yourself, plus more. I mean, while you were on the call today, you found out about the 4 agreements training module that I'm about to add. So how do you join Home Advocates? There are 2 ways. You can become an EXP agent with us. Or number 2, you can invest in a one-time fee with no monthly fee to be a part of our program. If you are an existing Monster or AMF student, you can upgrade. Simple. You should have links already in the emails because we're going to help you provide a dignified solution and get paid on your next transaction. We're going to get you paid on loan modifications. We're going to get you paid on forbearance agreements. And ultimately, we're going to make you more commission selling their house through our Express Buyer program. So for those of you that are interested and want to sign up right now, if you're already in EXP or you want to stay with your brokerage, it's $19.97. The full price is going to be $5,000 when the moratorium finally explodes in about 6 months. That is not hype. That is an absolute fact. I've talked to Derek about it. We've been pricing out what all the coaches are doing right now. It's a one-time $19.97 fee, and that is the least expensive in, and of course, everything we offer is guaranteed, and we're actually going to give you your money back once you're in the program. When the market turns and the bottom falls out and the numbers hit 11 million, the program will be $5,000. The second way to get involved is to join us through EXP. The other way, if you're an existing Monster or AMF student and you want to upgrade, you should have links. But if you want to do EXP or upgrade, send an email to jen@homeadvocates.io. For those of you that are on this call that want to join us and stay with your brokerage and just be a home advocate and have access to everything, go to homeadvocates.academy, exactly as you see it on the screen. Don't add a .com at the end. It's homeadvocates.academy. Simple. So here is our guarantee. The Home Advocates marketing system is 100% guaranteed to get you face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom or call-to-call, depending on COVID and the restrictions. And of course, based on data as well. We will refund 100% of your investment if you do not get face-to-face, if you don't get leads, if you don't, ultimately. And secondly, with the close of your second listing or second forbearance or second loan mod, for anybody, right? EXP, any of those. So if you're EXP, we're going to give you back your fees or whatever it costs you to switch out what your fees were to join us and be one of our frontline 100. The biggest bonus for EXP people, I'm going to recruit people under you. So you will be the only agent in that market and I'll recruit underneath you. So Gina is technically an agent in the Valley. So when I get additional EXP people that are interested in that area, they will sign up underneath Gina. I just picked up Phoenix, right? So anybody in Phoenix would sign up under that EXP agent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Simple as that. We promote our agents and we want them to be just as successful as us. So if you have any costs or fees when joining EXP, your $19.97 or your upgrade fee from the other program, we'll refund it to you. We'll refund your investment on your second transaction. Loan mod, forbearance, short sale, sale, period. We want you to have your money back because if you do deals, we make money as well. Again, if you're going to stay with your brokerage and just be a home advocate, the fee is $19.97. Go to homeadvocates.academy. That means you're already in EXP. I can't take you and put you in my funnel if you're already in EXP, sorry. Or you want to stay with your current brokerage. It's $19.97. The full price will be $5,000. It's going to happen here in the next couple of months. The minute the first market turns, I'm going to start raising it exponentially. But the final price is going to be $49.99 or $49.97 or whatever it is. EXP people as well as upgrade people, right? You're already in AMS or you're in Monster. There are two prices for you. You can be in Home Advocates. You will not, the big deal at $19.97 ultimately is that you have exclusive territories to your leads. Same with EXP people. It's exclusive. I'm not overselling. Like in the past, I just sold the Monster everywhere because there was this weird randomness to it all. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm having exclusive agents in the area. I'm more concerned on you guys getting listings, getting good follow-ups. So at $19.97, you get an exclusive area until the area is too big, right? I don't think you can handle, let's say you're in Vegas. What are you going to handle? 100,000 properties, 200,000 properties? That's not reasonable. I'm going to have to break them down by cities. But when I get somebody to sign up in Las Vegas as EXP, they will have exclusive rights to all those agents coming in that want to be a part of EXP in Las Vegas, and they'll sign up under that agent. And ultimately, that agent will get a team. So we have somebody in Phoenix who's supposed to be did sign up. I take it back. So we're going to be out there in about 3 weeks, and we're going to recruit real estate agents to sign up underneath her. And that is our goal, as well as putting together new home advocates. So if you want to do EXP or you want to upgrade, right? If you're a Monster or AMS students, there are two prices. One is for an exclusive area, and one is just to upgrade into the extra coaching calls, the express buyer program, the full commissions, right? Exclusive, non-exclusive. That's the only difference for previous students. It's $497 or $997. If you're an existing student of Monster anywhere in the history over the last 14 years,